like you're having a baby.
June, look at me. Right now, we don't need another mouth to feed. It's all I can do to look after you and take care of myself. Do you understand what I'm telling you? No? I'll explain it sometime when you're older.
The first thing I'm planning to do when I'm older is move to the city and set up housekeeping with Dr. Galen P. Gray. He'll teach me to nurse, I'll help him with patients, and we'll live in a real nice house with a nice little office downstairs. I'll cook him nice meals, he'll buy me nice clothes, and we'll have lots and lots of children. Which means we'll have to spend an inordinate amount of time in the bedroom. And that's just the way it's gonna be.
If oak trees could talk, I'd be crying.
Dr. Gray!
I'm telling you, Bill, they don't hurt that much at all.
It's awful. Doctor, are you decent?
Be right with you, people.
Sorry to wait here.
Mrs. Collins, what seems to be ailing you?
Oh, this ain't me, it's him, Doc. He's cut his hand real bad.
Oh, I was trying to sharpen the flower.
I went to bed early and I went to sleep directly.
I was going to plant with the light of the moon.
And the next thing I know, Mr. Collins is standing there bleeding all over my clean white sheets.
How bad is it?
Well, it's gash caught, no doubt about that.
How deep is it?
Well,
Gosh.
see?
Oh!
Interesting. I mean,
Oh.
you can see all them inner things.
Oh, well, the tendons, I reckon.
Yeah,
He stood and fell back to sleep.
he ain't sleeping. This man's fainted, dead away.
Oh, well, I'll fetch some water and we'll just bring him around.
Come on, Galen. Wake up. Sober up, buddy.
What?
He's coming around,
I'm
Bill.
coming.
Where am I?
I'm just going to give him a good douse.
Whoa, 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 whoa! No need for that. Just give me a second to clear my thoughts a bit. Mr. Collins, if you could dip your head in that bucket and clean it off a bit, I can't tell you how much that would aid in my examination.
Oh, yeah, I'd swash it around, son.
Do you have a knife on you?
Oh, there's one in my pocket. Can you get it, Bill?
You feeling all right, Doc?
Watch it, Bill. Water's getting dark awful fast.
How do you manage to
Operate? I don't do it. I can't. That's all there is to it.
I never heard of a doctor who couldn't cut on nobody.
Well, the dead people I don't have much of a problem with. It's the live ones that take the starch out of my system in 2 seconds flat.
Well, it must make it difficult for you to manage this.
Oh, it is a terrible failing, ma'am. It curses me. It truly does.
You know, Doc, if you want me to, I can just take this home and let it stop bleeding there.
No, I couldn't do that. I wouldn't want it to get infected. No, just hold your arm out for me right here, and I'm going to try to bind it up for you properly. Okay. Just hold it out there for me. Ma'am, hold it. Steady it, please, because I'm trying to put myself in the mind of a cadaver.
You know, Doc, I hate to tell you, but this thing really don't hurt much at all.
Well, it is possible that you sliced a nerve. Is it at all numb?
No?
Can you wiggle your fingers any? Yeah, he's going to be just fine. The important thing is that you just, keep the skin grafted together here, okay?
Doc, what is this mark on his arm?
Well, I guess it could be a birthmark or a mole or something.
Never saw that before.
Do you have any others?
I don't think so. Oh.
Well, look, I've got a mark on my hand.
Oh, doggone.
Yes.
Well, I suppose it could be some sort of eczema. Does it itch?
Oh, no.
Well, I guess keep an eye on it. Let me know if it gets any bigger or changes shape, okay?
You know, you tie a nice knot there, Doc.
Important thing is to keep it clean and to keep it dry. And for God's sakes, don't plap.
Oh,
You show infection at the crack of a door, it'll barge right in just like a Mormon. Good night, folks.
Good night, sleep tight.
uh-oh. You know, I'm just too young for age spots.
Well, let's call it a beauty mark. say you and I take the long way home tonight, Belva.
Mr. Collins, are you spooning me?
Well, you know, after all that goes on tonight, puts a man in the mood.
Oh, I think you ought to hurt yourself more often.
The long days that followed the death of my husband, I dreamt about him near every night. In my dreams, he rose up from the earth. Dust fell from his eyes. And his voice was so familiar and lonesome, it scared me. Sometimes I could feel his breath through the window. I could feel his touch in my sleep. So, I found myself dreaming in tears, and I woke up alone, coming to the graveyard to see him. What are you doing?
Mrs. Muldoon, fancy meeting you here.
What are you saying?
It's the Kaddish, ma'am.
Say what?
It's sort of a prayer for the dead.
It's a foreign language, ain't it?
To some folks it is, yes.
It sounds beautiful. Who are you praying for?
You see this stone here? The name is worn away, but I noticed the star.
Well, nobody knows who that is. We all figured he must have passed on at Christmas on account of the star.
No, ma'am. This is the Star of David. Whoever this person is, I figure he must be one of my people.
You don't mean he's kin to you.
Not by blood, no.
Will you pray that prayer for my husband? For me.
I'd be honored. It's a right pretty stone, ma'am. You've done him proud.
Thank you.
This prayer for the dead is all about life. It speaks to the glory of God, but it is said for the living. It's sort of a prayer for us. You understand?
You're talking about what I asked you before.
I'm talking about your so-called indigestion, yes.
Dr. Gray, I haven't changed my mind any. I loved my husband more than I know how to say, but I can't have this child without him. I just can't.
Sometimes decisions we make in a moment of grief are decisions that we come to regret for the rest of our life. Grief does terrible things to a person's mind. Believe me. I know.
Well, I know there's certain things you can do for a woman who wants to be rid of a baby.
I think you ought to give this a little more thought. And a little more time.
The last thing I want to give this is time. Don't you understand that? I'm only a few months along. If you don't want to help me, I'll do it myself.
I beg of you not to do that.
I've heard tell of roots.
Poisons! That's what they are. Do you want to kill yourself right along with it? Do you want to lie in a field and bleed to death?
No, sir, I don't. But I need to be shed of this baby. Why won't you help me?
Because I don't know that it's right.
Well then, you take it to God in prayer, sir. And you pray for the souls of us all.
타이에드파 옌시스타야 가가바 이스라카리 리암루 엄마.
Amen. I thank you.
Mrs. Muldoon, I think that someday somebody is going to come along and love you for the good person that you are. He will love this child because he is part of you. Life is here. Life is here. Life is here.
You know, I just asked you to pray, not to preach.
Point taken. Would it be too terribly forward if I were to ask to escort you home?
I don't think that'd be too awfully terrible. No.
The weather report is as follows.
Spring turns to summer, summer to fall.
There are more leaves upon the ground now than stars in the sky.
There's a harvest in the works.
Sunrise will find half the countryside out in the fields,
They're shelling up corn now.
thrashing the wheat like a misbehaved child.
But here at the preacher's house, nobody's tending the field this day.
Here at the preacher's house, sickness has found a home. Good morning, Miss Wingfield.
Oh, come right on in, doctor.
What in the world is he doing here?
I sent for him, brother.
Oh, send him away. I don't need no doctorate.
Pastor, you're as red as a beet.
I'm fine. I'll be fine. Prayer is the answer.
Phineas, whatever this is, you cannot pray it away.
It passes in time every time. Now, I appreciate your concern, sir. Now, will you please show him to the door?
Pastor, what seems to ail you?
Pain is what's ailing him.
Pain in the abdomen? Lord. Lower abdomen?
Doc, it's lower than lower.
Miss Tiny, could you please give us a bit of privacy?
Oh, well, I don't want
Just wait out in the hall. He'll be just fine. How are you sleeping these days?
I love the night.
Good.
I'll pray for you, brother.
All right, Pastor, drop your drawers.
Never.
Come on, get out of those trousers.
Get out of your own trousers.
Now, let's try and be reasonable.
I am not about to strip down to my skivvies in front of the likes of you.
Pastor,
I'm not even kidding.
I can no more examine a person who is fully clothed than you could read the Bible blindfolded.
I know my Bible verses.
All right, then, have it your way. What are you doing? I can do it, then so can you.
Blessed is he that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of the scornful.
But his delight is the law of the Lord, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that will bringeth forth fruit in his season, etc., etc., and so on.
Amen.
Now, let's see if we can get to the bottom of this, so to speak. I know you're tender.
Keep your palms to yourself.
Okay. Would you say that the pain is localized about here?
Tad lower.
Here?
South and a tad to the east.
So you would say the pain is in the region of the groin, if you'll pardon my French.
It feels like someone stuck a knife in me.
Is it a sharp pain or dull?
It's shooting straight through to my backside.
And does your urine have a darkish hue to it?
It's bloody as all get out, yeah.
Pastor, I think you have a stone.
A stone.
stone likely. It blocks the urethra, causes some swelling, and a great deal of discomfort.
Are you going to have to cut on me?
I assure you I would hope to avoid that. I really would. But the first thing we have to do is we have to relieve you of that pain.
Oh, Doc, I'd be eternally grateful.
You know, Benjamin Franklin, my personal favorite, the founding father, suffered from this very same ailment.
Ben Franklin had stone?
Oh, he had a stone the size of Gibraltar. He was plagued with such pain that it nearly crippled him. But being a man of some scientific prowess, he relieved himself of it by reversing the gravitational flow, inverting the torsonic position, thereby releasing the stone from the groinular region.
Meaning?
He stood on his head.
Oh, you got another thing coming.
The pain will only get worse. Plumbing backs up, septicemia sets in, and the body begins to poison itself. That stone is lodged tight as a drum in that tract, but merely invert the torso and put physics to work, the stone will rise up and free itself.
Well, if it worked for Benny Franklin, him being a founding father and all.
Turn around, crouch down, put your hands on the floor. All right, up. Please allow us a modicum of modesty.
Praise Jesus, I've been healed.
You're healed?
Oh, blessed relief.
And just what are your trousers doing on the ground?
It's all in the interest of science, man. Please take this. Master, what is this mark on your leg?
Oh, I haven't felt this good in ages.
Have you scrutinized this?
Well, I've noticed the same things on me, Doc. I've got one here, and one right here on the back of my drumstick.
Please take a seat for me.
Okay.
I'd like to
Watch
examine
it
that.
now.
All right, just keep his toes pointed towards the heaven. Pastor, keep breathing. You doing all right down there?
Oh, Tiny, this man's an unqualified genius.
Well, I don't know. All right, ma'am, you don't mind if I have a look?
Oh, hike it on up there and take it in.
Doc, how long do you think I ought to stay like this?
Well, that stone's eventually going to have to come out. Let's just hope it passes of its own accord.
All right.
There we go.
See, it ain't bruised, is it?
No, it's clearly a mark of some sort.
Oh, Doc, I'm getting about dizzy here.
Oh, let's let him down now. Let's let him down.
Okay, careful, because my pants are ankle
Easy,
now.
easy. Pastor, I assure you that pain is only going to get worse. They say that the only pain worse than passing a kidney stone is birthing a baby.
At least the waist knows what to do for it now.
All right, let's rise him up just a tad bit at a time.
Come on, Finian.
Woo. Doc, we surely give thanks.
Pastor, Miss Tiny.
Thank you, Doctor.
Now, of course, I don't have any marks on my person.
Tiny, I misjudged him.
Rebecca, just the next time that you take a bath, make sure you look yourself over.
Oh, I can never come down with a thing when I'm pregnant.
That's
I
just-
can't even catch a cold.
That's just an old wives' tale.
Well, I'm an old wife, and I believe it. Now, Galen, be careful, because Johnny Bo's always been tippy. Just sit down. Sit down.
Okay,
Oh, sit for Pete's sake.
Okay. All right, ma'am. I'm not completely incompetent in matters of physical prowess. I have captained a boat, for God's sake.
You're facing the wrong direction, Captain.
So I am.
Just mind your balance. Come on.
There we go, much more like it. Now bid farewell to civilization, such as it is.
Easter picnic. On up in that cove over yonder.
I'll paddle us elsewhere.
Don't get us caught in the current now. Gosh, it's a lovely day, ain't it?
I've traveled from here to the edge of the sea, Rebecca, and I honestly have to tell you that the scenery that I'm taking in right here and right now is just about as scenic as scenery can be.
You mean up in your balloon?
The balloon was an interesting means of transportation at an extraordinarily inopportune time. I would just as soon stay a little closer to home for the time being.
Who's this home to you now?
Home's always been people to me, Rebecca, not places. My father was a traveling medicine man.
You mean a doctor like you?
No, Becky, he was a charlatan. We sold remedies out of the back of a wagon.
You didn't.
Nostrum's elixir and medical cure-all. A recuperative miracle is what Pa used to call it. He could sell dog shit to cats, that man could. Well, you funnel enough alcohol, prune juice, and cod's liver oils down any man's gullet, and it's going to move him in more ways than one.
Oh, good heavens.
What?
I feel it, Galen, right here. It's kicking.
Well, isn't that something? I wonder if I can hear his heartbeat.
Galen, you're rocking the boat.
Don't worry, I'm not going to capsize it, Becky.
Just be careful.
Don't be such a worrywart. All right, here we go. Interesting. Interesting.
Well, what do you hear?
Hello in there. Hold on a second. He's tapping out a message. Oh. Well, he would like to know what his name's going to be.
Well, if it's a boy, you can tell him I settled on Galen.
Don't get me wrong, Becky. I feel a foot taller. I really do, but a name should be a holy thing. A good name should honor an ancestor. A boy should be named after his father.
Well, it's not his child. It's not mine either. It's yours, Dr. Gray.
Mine?
You're the one having this baby, not me. You wanted it, Galen. You got it.
Becky, now come on.
I've done made up my mind. After I birth him, I'll give him to you.
Now that's a sweet thought, Becky. It really is, but
It ain't a thought, sir. It's a fact.
Rebecca, now
Oh, come on. I think you'll make a fine mother.
I can't raise a child of my own.
Well, somebody has to.
I mean, feeding and diapers and...
Oh, we better head back to shore, Galen.
All right.
June, he's over here.
All right. You've made your point now. I've had my comeuppance. Now let's stop this funning around, shall we?
Galen, this baby belongs to you.
Oh, my dear God.
Doc, I've been looking all over for you.
Hold on a second, Judy. Rebecca, if it's a ring that you're wanting on your finger, then there's other ways of going about this.
Don't flatter yourself.
Doc, we need to run to the Collins house right away.
June, what's wrong?
Belva's been coughing just awful. She's running a fever. She can't hardly breathe.
Dear Lord, is there anything I can do?
Oh, I think you've accomplished enough for one day.
Do you want me to stay on and help you? Because I'm not even interested in nursing and whatnot.
All right, Mrs. Collins, come on. Not crazy, you're gonna help. Judy, go fetch a basin of hot boiling water.
What do you think is wrong with
Now,
her?